It's a rather warm day. It's about 35 degrees Celsius. Although I think it's probably a little cooler. Here by the river, it always feels significantly cooler. There are places like Soto Generes that is kind of swampy. It's sort of a marshland, and it's always several degrees cooler there. At least it feels that way. Anyways, I've been out goofing with this new XLC suspension dropper seat post. I'll leave something in the storyline about it. The instructions give air pressure recommendations based on your body weight, and they're probably pretty accurate. But one thing I noticed, with my spring suspension, which is also an XLC parallelogram design, this telescopic air suspension seat post should be infinitely adjustable. The spring seat post was adjustable. You could dial it in. In fact, it took a while, and I finally got it dialed into my weight, and then I gained a few kilos, and but that's okay. It still felt good. In fact, a little extra plush for every extra little bit of weight. I gained some weight while I was recuperating from my eye surgery, which I'm trying to remedy right now. But that's neither here nor there. What is here nor there is that when you have an air suspension seat post or air fork, it is adjustable pretty much infinitely, and you can play with it. So that's exactly what I've been doing. Now, I found that with 200 PSI, which is about what's in it now, after I hit a few bumps and I keep my weight on the seat, it'll compress down a little bit. It'll sag, but as soon as I shift my weight, it'll go back up and be at its full height once again. Now, when I had it at 220 PSI, it came up to its full height quicker, but I didn't get as much travel. I finally put a rubber band on it so I could scientifically measure how much suspension I was actually getting. And I thought it was something like 40 millimeters, but in real life it was about 25. And so when I softened it up, I came closer to 30. And I was able to measure that with my El Cheapo plastic caliper and a rubber band. I just tied a rubber band to the seat post, and it's as good. It's about the same as if I had put on an O-ring. Actually, if I would have thought of it, I could have popped an O-ring onto it before I installed the seat post. But I'm not going to undo it now to pop an O-ring on it. That's pretty here. Theoretically, well, there's a sign here that says you're not supposed to go into the water for swimming and that sort of thing. But, well, nobody listens to that. I did move the lever. Let me turn this off. The release lever for the dropper seat post. It's more ergonomic now. I don't have to remove my hand from the handlebar to operate it. I can push it with my finger or catch it with my thumb, which is perfectly convenient. Very cool. And with the lower air pressure, the suspension feature, where it goes up and down with on bumps, is quite a bit nicer. So I'll recalibrate my fancy measuring rubber band, and when I get home I'll take another look at it. But I think I've got it just about right. It's probably a little bit on the soft side, but I'd rather have it a little bit on the soft side than a little too hard for the type of riding I've been doing. The whole idea behind a suspension, anything, is to protect your body. In my case, my lumbar and my shoulders, which is actually why I bought this bike and why I fitted the 2.8 rear tire on it. This is a 27 by 2.8 tire. The original, of course, would have been a 29 by 2.35, which is just way too skinny. Even the front is a 2.4. This is a 29 or 2.4 eddy current. I like this tire. It's pretty good. The Tough Tom is half the price. It's a lighter tire and it's totally unremarkable, but I've had zero problems with it. And the only flat I had was my fault because it was underinflated and I caught a pinch flat. And that was a long time ago. But it's a large volume tire and it just works fantastic. In this environment, I can really feel the suspension working, even though it's not working very hard. When I was setting up the pressure, I did it on blacktop, and I was smacking into potholes and speed humps, kind of on purpose to see how it would behave. In general, I'm not a huge fan of telescopic suspension. However, on a mountain bike, because of the nature of the beast, it's not as bad as I thought. On a road bike, you would want a parallelogram so that the distance between the saddle and the crank was consistent. But being that mountain bikes are always, well, not always, but very often in uneven terrain, and you're bouncing around, getting on and off the seat and scooting around, it doesn't matter quite as much. Ooh, little quail. Little babies. I think there's all sorts of little guys around here. On one side of us, on the opposite side of the river, is Parque de los Cerros, and to the right is the city of Alcalá de Henares. And it's really one of my favorite places I've ever lived. I mean, I sort of like every place I've been, especially Valencia, because of the Mediterranean. And I particularly like Aragon, and I just like every place. But there's something about Alcalá. It has personality. Roman ruins, university, a great Plaza Cervantes. It's just a wonderful place. Everything's so growing up. Like, this is where I noticed that when I put all my weight upwards, the seat has a tendency to sag a little bit. But then once I shift my weight, it pops back up, and then it starts the process again. With the spring suspension seat post, it never sagged. It was always springing itself back up to its full height. So this is a little different, and like I say, I think if I jacked up the air pressure, that issue would go away, but then it would be too hard. I don't remember what they recommended the pressure for my 90 kilos at. I think it was 250 PSI, but I'll double check that before I write the little story. The dropper seat post is also nice in strange environments, because if you have to put your foot down really quickly or stop and go traffic, it's nice. Although I'm still learning to use it, so as far as using it in traffic, I think I've done that a couple times, and I'm still forgetting to use the dropper when I stop to get off the bike. I have to do it when I stop, after I stop, which is okay. I mean, I've only had it for a few days. Buenas, buenas. Oh, looks like we're getting back to civilization. That's no good. This was fun. Oh, doggy walking area. That's excellent. Well, now it's going to get boring.